Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I am going to discuss how we can download the email attachments using the Power Automate. So in my last video, I discussed the instant cloud flow. So today we will discuss automated cloud flow. So it's not like that. Okay, so for this type of application or this type of event, you should use the automated cloud flow. So you can use instant also. That is not a concern. But yes, you are receiving an email and everything is on cloud. When you open the application, then it will download the emails to your local. Otherwise, Microsoft Exchange server is always live. So data or emails are working in the backend, though we are offline. So we can automate this, meaning before your login, if you want to save all the attachment received in an email with a specific subject from the specific person for XYZ reason. So you can apply those kind of filters on the email to download the attachment, and yes, data will be ready. Data will be stored into the OneDrive or SharePoint, wherever you want to save the attachment. So let's begin how we can do this. First of all, you need to select what type of flow you want to use. Okay, so here, if I go to this, if I search for the window, so you are supposed to search this much URL only. Rest of the URL will populate automatically. Environment default. This is what the tenant ID, and the home page will be loaded. So this is web app. Okay, this URL indicates that over the path of server and page navigations, right? Here you have options to create the flow using the Copilot. If you write what you want to do, it will generate the flow for you. We will see the demo of this later, but now at this point, I would like to download the attachments from the email. So first step to build the flow is what type of flow you want to define or you want to use. So scheduled you can use, that is also possible. Instant, let's say you are receiving a files through the week and you may want to download those files on specific day, you can use scheduled flow. Wherever you want to execute the flow, you can use the instant cloud flow. And as we receive the emails, the flow should be executed. If this is the case, in that case, you can use automated cloud flow, right? So here in this scenario, I'll use automated cloud flow. So the flow name you can define attachment download from which application. So you can define Outlook emails like this. You can define, this is your choice how you want to give the name to your flow. This is fine. Now it's time to select the trigger. What trigger you want to select. So here you can see in the automated cloud flow what are the different types of triggers are available. You can see the list of those triggers here. But I'm more specific to the Outlook. So I will say email. Okay. Actions you can see here when an email is flagged, when an email is arrived, when an email is arrived. Okay, so these two actions are more suitable for our job because we have to execute the flow when a new email is arrived. So I will select this. This is fine. You can select V2 also. That is not going to affect, but few more advanced parameters are here with the V3. These are the versions of flow. or actions, right? So when a new email is arrived in my inbox, I would like to execute the flow automatically. That's why we selected automated cloud flow, and I will say create. So now this here you need to define the connection if it is not already done. But yes, by default it will use your Outlook application and your login credentials. Now there is something called advanced parameter. So what we are looking for. So here you can see these are the filters. So if you want to filter the emails based on the subject, you can add these also. You can filter the emails based on the conditional expressions, conditional statements also. So we will do that also. But yes, I would like to include the attachment. Obviously, this is what we are looking for, right? And with the only attachment, see, if email don't have the attachment, I don't want to run the flow to check the email whether this has attachment or all. So I selected if the email contains the attachment, it should execute, right? So if you want to select from specific person, you can select from, and when the email is received from the specific person, you will mean this flow will be executed. Otherwise it will check at initial stage, it will be like true and false. If it is false, flow will not be executed, right? So these are the two minimum parameters that I want to use. So include attachment. Would you like to include the should the response of the trigger include the attachment? Yes. If set to true, only emails with attachment will be retrieved, right? Without any attachment, emails will not be retrieved. This is what I want. So this, okay. So your flow should contain at least one trigger and one action. Okay. So what I did is I defined a trigger, but I have not added the action, right? So I will go and I will use. So here I would like to create a file in my OneDrive folder. Okay, this is what my OneDrive folder. So you can select any specific folder. It's not like that you can keep this at the root folder only. But I am using root folder. Okay. So here, if I go and if I select the action, so action should be create a file because we are going to create a new file. Okay, you need to understand the actions of each application. And you can see create file is available for the SharePoint, right? And yes, create file, it may be available for the uh, file system on your local. If you want to do, you can do this. This is nothing but a file system. You can create files on the Azure file storage also. You can create files on the Dropbox. You can create on the FTP server. You can create files on the personal OneDrive. You can create, this is a SFTP server. I don't know about this much. Okay. Info query. So there are options. You can create the files on the Google Drive also. Inbox also you can create, right? So like this, you have a options, or you will get an actions to create the file, but you have to select the appropriate one. So I am looking for OneDrive business or business OneDrive. So here I'll select this. Connection will happen automatically if you already make the connection. Otherwise, it will ask you to sign in. You need to sign in. Then from here, you can select the folder. So if you go to the root, you will see the list of folders, but I don't want to go down. Okay, so I will say this, and root is fine for me. Then what should be the file name? What should be the file name? So here I'll go and I will search for the attachment, because see, attachment name should be the name of that attachment. I don't want to change that. So I selected here attachment name. Here you can select, okay. So We can build the expression, but it is better to use the data from previous or information from the previous step. So here you can select attachment content, meaning what file should houses. So it should houses the whatever the content is already there in the file. It should be copied as it is. This is what it defines. You need not to worry how the code is defined at the back end. You need to just select the available parameters and its values, and your flow is ready. Right, it's your flow is ready. Right. So now it's time to test the flow. If I go to the my OneDrive, okay, let me close this. So here you can see I don't have any Excel file in this folder. So now what I will do is I'll send email to myself only. Okay. So here file type, we have not defined any specific file type, but we can define. Okay. So this is what the email I'm sending to the myself only, because yes, it is fine if you send the email yourself for the test purpose, it will work. But then now how you want to test the flow, until you start the test here, you will not be, your flow will be executed automatically. It's not like that flow is not created, but we need to test it whether it runs successfully or it gets failed anywhere. So we have to see that before starting using the flow. So I started the test. Now what it will do is to see it work now, perform the action, meaning your inbox should receive an email with the attachment. I sent email. Okay. Now email will be in my bucket. The sooner the email is here, our automate will read that email and execute the flow. Still, here you can see that still it is waiting to detect the email is arriving. Sooner the event triggered, here it gets identified and the flow will be executed. Right. So when new email is arrived here, this is successfully completed. Now this is saving the files. This is creating a files. Okay. Until this shows this kind of green ticks, we can't say flow is executed successfully. Here you can see for each, this email has two attachments. So you are able to see here one of two. So it is working on the first file and then it will work on the second file. So this is how you can test the flow. In case of error message, you will see the error message here where it gets failed, why it gets failed, and then you can do the improvement as per your requirement. If I go to the OneDrive, here you can see that files are saved. The status is not been updated. This is fine. Okay. So I can cancel out this and the flow is successfully completed. You can go to the monitor also. The flow is successfully run at, okay, so the status is running. It is fine. But the execution should finish. Okay. So maybe it got stuck, but files are there in my folder. These are the two files which I sent to myself sometime before. Okay, let's run. Still, it is showing the status. Okay, status is not yet updated. Okay, some looks like something is not good with the this flow at this moment, but it's not that the flow is not proper. Everything is fine. So I'm just trying to cancel the flow. Okay, fine. So what I did is I just cancelled flow. This was waiting for 3 minutes. Files were saved, but status was not updated there. So status is like cancel. It is fine. See, here you can, when you come to the my flows, you if you open the flow, that specific flow, you will be able to see the statuses. But this is the monitor. Here you can monitor the status of your flow. Now this is fine. Now the flow is set up, right? So I would like to send an email to my inbox from another email ID. Okay, I'm just opening the one more email ID. Okay, fine. Nothing is there. Okay, I already tested. Let me delete this. And now I would like to compose the email. This is fine. Okay, to this person. This is test flow and please find attached. And here I'm going to add the new attachments. Like this, I can add the earlier demo, or this is too much heavy, but this is fine. Okay, these two data sets I am going to download, but this will take a much time. So let's take a small size of files. Okay, this is fine. So I'm just uploading the row level security PBIX file. So now you can see here, I don't have that file, row level security file in my folder, my OneDrive folder. So when the email is received in my folder or email is arrived in my inbox, you will be able to see that file or the flow is execution. Okay, all runs. Flow is not yet triggered. Email is not yet. Yes, it is received. Fine. So you need to wait until the flow triggers. So let me refresh this. Okay, you can see the 18-second ago the flow is successfully completed, and if I go to the my folder here, the attachment is saved. Right. So this is how the flows are used. Microsoft Power Automate flows are used to automate your email attachment download. But yes, we have not yet seen the mini cases or possible advanced automations. Right. So we will go for it now. So you can add the filters here. As I said, you can add the filters here from the specific sub person. If I receive the email, enter the part of email. Let's say if I receive the email from this email ID, then and then only I would like to download the attachment. Otherwise, I don't want to download the attachment. Right. So now here, if I go and if I forward this, okay, let me no. Instead of this, I would like to create a new mailbox. New. I am sending the email from my account to my account. Check filter. This is the email name, and let me attach something. Okay, so okay, let me add my. Oh no, my bad. I dropped this at wrong place. Okay, in the attachment, attach the file. Okay, please find attached. If I send this, the email is not coming from that specific person from which I need the email to trigger the flow. So you can see this is check filter. Email is arrived here. But if you wait for some time, if I come to here, and let's wait for 2 3 minutes to see the status, the flow will not be executed until and unless if I receive the email from the Pallavi, the email which I specified in the from, my flow will not be triggered. You can wait any longer time. Okay. So this is the flow is executed, but file is not here. Meaning on arrival of every email, it will check the condition for the from, and this is where it gets filled. If you want to test it, you can see. Let's run this. Okay. So flow will be executed, but we can say that it will not be executed, meaning the file will not be created. Why? Because here the condition gets filled. So let me say test, then this and this. Okay, I'm running the flow manually. Let me forward the email to myself, and we will be able to see. Right. So let's say second test. This is test forward. Okay, second test is forwarded. Second test is received here. And now let's wait to trigger the flow. To detect the arrival of email, okay, everything is successfully executed. Then where is the file? File is here. The question is, if I don't receive, okay, it is downloading from, this is from, okay, maybe because it is coming from the same ID, it is passing. Because see here, if I go to when new email is arrived, let me edit this. If I go, oh, so that from parameter is not saved here. This is what I made, where I made the mistake. That's why, because it should not happen. Okay, that's why it's saved from parameter. Let me add the from parameter once again here. This, and I should save the this flow. I missed to save it. That's why the email attachments downloaded. But no worries, this kind of mistakes happens while doing this. So when I left this page at that time, I made a mistake to save this flow. Right now, flow is here. Now you can see the file. Let me delete this file. We will test it once again. Yeah, test is very important, because until unless you test the flow, you will not be able to understood what you did is correct or not. So again, I'm going to forward this to the same, and that's why I was seeing the flow was executed, but as per my expectation, the flow should not be executed. Second, and let's say third, test, right? This is where I was suspecting. So you can see third test email is received to me. If I go to this test of the flow, here you will not see anything. Ideally, it should not trigger the flow. But in case if it show that the flow is triggered, but it should not save the file. Let's wait for it's 55. We will wait for another 60 seconds. And if this window will not change, that means the flow is not triggered. And this is what I was trying to say, that flow is not executed if the condition is failed. Okay, so between 9:54, 9:55, there is no run for the flow. We have received the email at 9:54. So we should not see any refresh history for 9:55 or 9:54. So now let me keep the another email ready from this email where I specified the if I receive the email from the specific person, okay, to the web champ, and yeah, you can say this is final test. So we will be done with the test. And here, let me add the this sales report. Here in OneDrive, you can see I don't have anything called sales report. Right, this is what? If you see the window is still waiting to receive email from the specific person. So now let me send that email because now it's 9:56. And now see the status of flow. Let me check whether I have received that email or not. Yes, this is final test email we received. Now this should trigger the flow because we have received email from the specific person for which we have set up the flow. Yes, it is triggered. So between 9:54 and 9:55, we should not have any trigger in refresh history. So this was test. I don't think so. Okay, you can see that last run was at 9:51. After that, this flow is executed at 9:56, and you will be able to see sales file here, right? So like this, what you can do is you can edit the flow. You can remove this action. Okay, you can remove this action, and you can use the control statements for this flow. Okay, this is what the next thing you can do. If you want to add the more control on this, you can go to the add the action and then select the control statement. These are the loops, which is the conditional statement. Condition is the one which we use if else kind of statement. Apply to each is this is the for loop or for each loop. Scope and terminate we will see later. Do until is again while loop in programming. So here I can add this. Okay, this is what I have added. You can specify the condition here. Select this condition, choose what you want to do. You can select from here, and this is equals to if the sender is, and enter the email address. This is what the pulse at the rate. So here you are going to specify. You are not using the content of previous step. You are giving a static value on microsoft.com. So this is what the email address. So from is equal to this. And I should save the condition. So if I receive the email, so now we will test the flow. Flow will be executed. Okay, here you can see that we have two parameters, meaning it is not going to filter anything at the first level. So this should be executed, but this attachment should not be executed. So okay, so what I did is, if the condition is true, meaning the sender or from is pulse@webchamp.com, webchamp.onmicrosoft, whatever the domain I used here. So condition, you can see webchamp.onmicrosoft.com. If the email is received from this person, it should execute the flow. Otherwise, it should not execute the flow. So this will be executed, but here condition will return false and this flow will be stopped. So now let's see the test. Again, I'm going to say save and test. Okay, the changes, it should save, right? So now this is fine. This is what I did. I sent email to myself. I just forwarded. Let's wait. 9:54 at 10 a.m. I forwarded the email. Sent item. Okay. I think I did not forward it. Okay. Let me write or create a new email. This is what the email. Control control flow test, I can say. And let me attach something here with this email. Let me add some images. Right. And let me send this. So we will see the test, how it works. So now this is what forwarded, and the same thing we are able to receive. Email is sent to, okay, email is in my bucket, right? So here you can see the flow will be triggered. Yes, what it did, email is arrived. This is successful. Condition it checked, right? Condition it checked, and the condition returns false, and there is no action for the false. You can see expression result is false, right? Because we have not received the email. Let me do the same thing from this email ID. So now this is what going to send me the email. And yes, email is coming from the control flow test. I will say please find attached. Please find attached. And let me add those 4 images there. So I want these images should be saved in my OneDrive folder. Where it is? It is here. Let me close this. Let me keep the one. And yes, email is not yet received. I should receive the email now. Email is received. You can see here. Oh, this is fine. So flow is triggered just now, 108 millisecond before. Right. Let me refresh this. The flow is executed successfully, but I should start the test. Okay. 5 seconds ago or 12 seconds ago, the flow is executed, and you will be able to see all those pictures here. If I go to the OneDrive, Okay, let's wait. The flow is successfully executed. But attachments, okay. Here it is the attachment, right? So these are the four attachment I sent from this. So if you want to test, you can go to the edit. Let me delete all these four attachments. Nothing is there in my folder now. And expressions are fine. So now if I say test manually and test the run, then forward the same email once again. I just wanted to show you the result of conditional expression. Okay, email I sent. Let's see. No preview available. This is fine. At 10:05, the one more email is triggered. This is fine. Okay. At 10:05, I should receive the another email. Let me say, okay, email is there in my bucket. Okay, this is the email I received. Now, well, let's wait. It should show the execution steps of flow, right? So email is received. It is checking for the condition. Condition is true. It is trying to save the files, right? So this is how flow will be executed. For false, we don't have any action, but yes, we can add the actions as per our need. So in, let's say in case of false, if you want to delete that email, you can do that, right? So let's add that action also. Okay. I don't want to keep the email uh, if the email is not from the specific person and it do not have the attachment kind of things, right? So we have given the condition for the specific person. So what I will do is, let me say this, and here in case of false, I will say email delete email v2, delete email v2. Okay, this is whatever the versions are available. Okay, and the message id, you can set the message id from, meaning whoever is there. Okay, if the email is not from this, it should delete the email, right? And original mailbox address, this is fine. Okay, enter the part of email, this is fine. I don't need this. Or let me add this parameter like this only. Okay, so now I added a one more action. If the email is not from Pallavi or pulse at the rate webcharm.onmicrosoft.com, then it should delete the email. Now, again, once again, we will start the test. Okay, this is fine. Test is started, right? Test is started. I should try to send the email. Same email, or I will pick the another email. Okay, not every time I should pick. This is what the forwarded email. This is what the web champ. Okay, I'm sending email from myself to myself. Now, how it test? Okay, email is received. This is fine. Filter checker. Flow will be triggered, but this time it will execute the flow. And now you can see I'm not deleting the email, but this email, that one which we received at 10:08, should be deleted from the flow only. Oh, so what it says, okay, this is how we get a error message, bad request. Okay, this is fine. false statement is executed, input subscription delete v2, message id is this, and mailbox address. Okay, so what a mistake I did is, okay, from which, so I don't have permission to delete the id, meaning the parameter value I entered is incorrect. So let me correct it, because I want to delete the email, original email. I should enter the my address only. Message id is from, but from which email address you want to delete. So let's run this flow once again. Okay, and control flow. Let me create a one more email to the web champ. This is delete an email test. All right, and okay, if I attach, if I don't attach, nothing is going to affect. So test delete action, right? And let me send the email. Now email is sent. Let me receive the email here. Email is received. You can see the flow will be triggered in a moment. Let's wait until this gets triggered. Yes, email is received. This is fine. Oh, why this is not performing? Because when we selected, it filters the day emails with attachment only. That's why it is not executing. I forgot to do that. So let me add the attachment. So what I can do, what I can add is, let me add the pay slips. This is not going to download at all, but small size of documents I'm just trying to add. And let's say webcam, because see, while adding the actions or defining the parameters for the email received action, so we defined that attachment should be there, right? That's why it is not performing. So we should receive one more email at 10:12 for the delete an email. Okay, now attachments are there. Now it should test the flow. Yes. Oh, email ID malformed. Okay, so this is fine. Here you can expression result is false. It is not deleting the email. Okay, this is fine. This is applied to shared email v2. Something went bad once again, but how I can select the message ID then is my question. Let me explore all the parameters for the delete action. Message ID. Subject body importance has attachment. It should be a true or false. Okay, let me see if I can see. Okay, CC, BCC. Message ID is equal to unique identifier of the message. This is what I should select. I selected a from. That was incorrect value for the message ID, because from will not indicate the message ID. Now once again test. So this is how testing and development works in real time also. Let me delete this. Send the email once again. Payslip once, and Let me send the email. Okay, let me just see. Okay, test is started. Let's shoot the email. Wait until it hits the your inbox. Now this will start the execution. So this email should be deleted from the flow. This is what my expectation. The flow is not yet executed. I selected the email. Okay, if I go, oh, flow is successfully executed. You can see I have not deleted the email. Email is deleted from the flow. So I was selecting an incorrect parameter in the message ID. So you should select message ID as a message ID, right? And the message has been deleted, right? So this is how control statement you can use. This is how conditional statement I can say, and this is how you can define or you can automate the your Outlook email attachment downloads. If you are not interested in specific any specific emails to keep, you can delete it automatically. You will not get any kind of notification that the email has been received to you, meaning when you are offline, email will arrive to your exchange server. From there it will be automatically deleted. Everything is automated and on the cloud, so you need not to worry. You just need to see the status if what you want is not received, right? So I hope you like the content of this video. So we know how we can select the trigger, how we can add the actions, how we can define the parameters, and conditional filtering we saw already, and we tested a flow couple of times in this video. So I hope and I believe you understood how to use the Power Automate for the Outlook automation. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Please do not forget to subscribe WebCham.